Coming up on Marlborough this week, the two men charged in the Turner Broadcasting marketing stunt faced a judge Thursday. We have the details.
An infestation of Asian clams have been found in a nearby lake right here in Marlborough. We'll tell you what lake and what you can do to help.
Also, we have the very latest on the stabbing at Lincoln Sudbury High School.
Coming up right here on Marlborough This Week. Hello and welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette.
And I'm Dan Corcoran. We begin today with Wednesday's marketing stunt gone bad. It was a day in court on Thursday for two suspects that paralyzed Boston on Wednesday. 28-year-old Sean Stevens from Charlestown and 27-year-old Peter Brodowski from Arlington are both charged with distributing the 38 hoax devices, which triggered a major response from the city, state, and federal agencies. The electronic ads that were put on buildings and bridges around the city of Boston resembled C4 explosives wrapped in duct tape, which was just an advertising for a new Cartoon Network show. Mayor Menino, still outraged by the situation, comments that the network will be responsible in covering the emergency response relief costs, which is estimated at $500,000. Turner Broadcasting has now taken out whole-page ads in local newspapers to apologize for the hoax. The two men charged with distributing devices are free on bail as of Friday morning.
In police news this week, two Marlborough teens were arrested on Monday. Russell Horgos and Justin Gates were charged with drug possession after a traffic stop on Descenso Boulevard around 11 p.m. Horgos and Gates were charged with possession of a Class D substance.
A pair from Marlborough is facing laundering charges. Cassia Galia Freitas and Daniel Figueroa are both accused of laundering drug money from a Somerville store. According to an affidavit in February 2005, the pair accepted drug money from a federal informant a few times without having license to do so. Money transfer businesses must inform and register with the government before any sort of transaction takes place. A status hearing is set to take place on March 9th.
A pipe burst over the weekend which destroyed carpets and some people's Monday morning. Tenants of 2 Pleasant Street offices had a rude awakening arriving to work to find carpets soaked and equipment ruined. A pipe had burst in one office at the Addiction Referral Center had previously used for meetings. Damage equals to less than $1,000. Workers are now applying fungicide to carpets and are working on repairing those pipes. The cause of the pipe burst was due to freezing temperatures, which caused the pipe to freeze.
Fire officials are still trying to uncover the cause of a blaze that took place on Grove Street this past weekend. The fire hit 39 Grove Street on Saturday, January 27th at 11 p.m. When firefighters arrived on scene, the deputy chief commented that it basically gutted the inside of the house. Estimated damages reached an outstanding $150,000. The cause of the fire is still unknown.
Now to an update on the Lincoln Sudbury High School stabbing. John Odgren is charged with murder, assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, a knife, and carrying them on school grounds. On the website MySpace, it shows when John Odgren turned 16 years old, he wrote a blog stating that he was happy he could be able to now to drive, but also because he was able to buy a knife. Odgren is scheduled to go in front of Framingham District Court on Friday, February 2nd for a hearing. Currently, Odgren is being held without bail at a juvenile facility in Plymouth.
Well, at the City Council meeting on January 22nd, councilors talked over a large transfer request to rebuild the city's stabilization account. Mayor Nancy Stevens has requested a transfer of $750,000 in December of 2006, which she then introduced the fact that this would be the first in a series of large-scale financial transfers. Stevens stated that the transfers would have a positive effect on rebuilding the account and also on reserve accounts. At the meeting on January 22nd, Stevens again requested another transfer in the amount of $500,000. Stevens reminded councilors that this request was just another one out of the series.
Dating back to 1989, Marlborough has at least $1.44 million in back taxes on its hands. In the past, the city has passed on foreclosing on properties that have deadbeat and exhausted owners without paying taxes are still collecting rent. The city of Boston waits just a short 6 months after the year to do a foreclosure on tax delinquent properties. A state review was done last December proved that the city of Marlborough should follow in its Boston's footsteps. The 3 tax delinquent property owners in Marlborough could not be reached for comment.
In business news, Marlborough Shamrocks is hitting new heights. The Marlborough-based drug maker states that lucrative sales and a lowering in marketing costs has led to a tripling of its fourth quarter sales. The net income of the company lifted to around $100 million and 85 cents a share. Shamrocks makes the sleep aid Lunesta and the asthma medication Zofenex.
As part of the statewide community policing program, state funds have been rewarded to the Marlborough Police Department once again. At their meeting on January 22nd, councilors accepted the $34,000 grant. The state Secretary of Public Safety stated that the funds that are given to the police department are intended to aid in the development of community policing strategies with the community's needs in mind. More than $20,000 will go to the overtime payments, and the rest of the grant will go to supplies, operating expenses, and equipment. There are no new positions being created in result of this grant.
Well, the Marlborough Police Department just finished a trial run of a new program called Rad Kids. The 5-week program teaches kids to protect themselves from dangers such as fire and dealing with strangers while using safe techniques such as dialing 911. Kids will learn how to make the best use of their personal weapons, such as their arms and hands. The program stresses that nobody has the right to hurt someone else, and if a dangerous situation should arise, they need to tell someone. If you'd like to participate in this program, call Detective Martha Shea at 508-624-6952.
Thanks to a Marlborough resident, conversation was sparked about this species of eels. Tim Watts was noticing more and more eels getting stuck in dams within Massachusetts waterways and decided to do something about it. The Fish and Wildlife Service agreed to investigate, which then a 2-year review of the eel population was started. The feds released a statement stating that eels do not qualify under the endangered species list, and also commented that fish are now making their way to the Sargasso Sea, where they will ultimately start to spawn.
Well, Asian clams have now been discovered in a nearby lake right here in Marlborough, and there's quite an infestation of them. The Asian clam is a small freshwater mollusk that is commonly the size of a dime, and they're able to self-fertilize in warm waters. Although it's winter, the eggs and the sperm of these clams remain in the reproductive tissue, and as soon as warmer temperatures return, spawning will continue. We caught up with Priscilla Ryder at the Fort Meadow Reservoir to find out more.
Well, I wanted to let people know about an invasion that we're having on Fort Meadow Reservoir, which is the Asian clam. This is the 3rd lake in Massachusetts to have these clams in them. They reproduce really quickly. The first clam may have come to this lake about 3 years ago, and if you look at the beach right now, you'll see all these little pebbles that you think are pebbles, and if you look closely, you'll see that they're all of these clams. Our concern is that as they reproduce, we're just going to have blankets and blankets of this on the beaches, and then it won't be a sandy beach. It'll be sort of this shell-laden beach. They usually are transported by boats from one lake to another, and they're really small. And when they're tiny, they sort of float in the water, and they can get into the bilges of boats or intakes of boats, and also birds can transport them, and also bait buckets. A lot of fishermen may take up a bucket and move bait from one place to the other. They may actually use this for bait, and having it in one place or another might have transported it here. So right now I just want people to know that this exists. If you're putting boats in and out of Fort Meadow, that you clean your boats off, you make sure that anything that's holding water is discharged, and that, just in respect for other lakes, that we don't do this. One of the other issues with this is that they're really good filter feeders, which means that they'll start filtering the lake and making it cleaner. The downside is that they end up taking all that, the microorganisms that feed the little fish, that feed the bigger fish, and Fort Meadow is a really good fishing lake, and it could change over the next 10 years, the ecology of the lake.
We'll continue to update you on the Asian clam situation as warmer temperatures start to return.
An important event to tell you about today, Sergeant John Colleary's VFW Post 638 86th Annual Banquet will be held on Saturday, February 17th. Cocktail hour will be from 6 to 7, with dinner being served around 7. The dinner choices are baked ham and baked stuffed chicken. Jim Holt will be attending to provide dancing fun. For tickets, please call Shirley Forrest at 978-568-0110, and tickets will be sold until February 15th.
Attention all graduating high school seniors, the Marlborough Historical Society is seeking applications for a $500 scholarship. The scholarship will be given in memory of Dorothy Medal, Claudia McCarthy, and Frank Valenti. All applicants must submit a research paper of 750 to 1,000 words on any aspect of Marlborough history. Send your applications to the Marlborough Historical Society at P.O. Box 513, Marlborough, Massachusetts. That's 01752 by April 1st. The presentation of the award will be made on April 24th at the Historical Society's annual meeting. And if you'd like more information, you can call 508-485-4763.
Sounds like a great opportunity.
Oh yes, certainly get on that. Well, coming up on Marlborough this week, a statewide campaign is kicking off. We'll tell you all about the plan and where you'll have to look to find it.
And are the first days of February going to be like the last days of January? Stay tuned. We have your weather details coming up. President Bush gave a State of Economy speech this past week, standing on Wall Street, the financial center of the world. The president took aim on extravagant salaries and bonuses of corporate executives, issuing a sharp warning for corporate boards to step up their responsibilities. Bush also assured the business community of his opposition to tax increase. Democrats state that Bush painted a too rosy picture of our current economy. Bush's approval rating, by the way, is the lowest it's ever been.
On Tuesday, Governor Deval Patrick, officials from the State House and the Senate came to an agreement on a key revenue figure. That final figure, $19.879 billion to be exact. That's how much money Patrick's budget officials say the state can expect to dish out in taxes starting July 1st. Agreeing on a final number will help Patrick work on the state budget. $17.1 billion will go to the MBTA, the State School Building Assistance Fund, and the Pension Fund. This is the first year in a while that key players in this decision have agreed on a revenue estimate.
Delaware Senator Joseph Biden's presidential nomination was overlooked this Wednesday by remarks that he made about an Illinois senator. Biden stated Barack Obama is the first mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean and a nice-looking guy. Biden made the comments in a New York Observer interview that was published a few hours before him declaring his run for president in the 2008 election. Biden apologizes and comments that he meant no insult to Obama and thinks people may have taken his clean comment out of context.
TJX, the parent company of both Marshall's and TJ Maxx discount stores, has now acknowledged that there will be a new CEO for the future of this Framingham-based company. The low-price retailer actually announced in September that Carol Merowitz would be the one to take over. Merowitz and the senior staff are going to do all they can to get to the bottom of the data breach that occurred last month, and in turn will do all they can for their faithful clients. Merowitz's position goes into effect on February 19th.
To make sure that parents and kids understand the risks of childhood obesity, a new campaign was kicked off on Monday. The $250,000 campaign was founded by the Metro West Community Healthcare Foundation and includes several Massachusetts towns. Childhood obesity is rapidly growing and has nearly doubled since the 1980s. 9 million U.S. children are overweight, which makes the probability of attaining high blood pressure, heart disease, and diabetes almost a certainty. To promote the campaign, billboards will be placed around the area, and there is one right here in Marlborough on Boston Post Road. A new website is also available for parents and kids, where you can ask nutritionists any question you would like. Just visit www.metrowestkids.org.
Well, on Monday, despite months of treatment, Marlborough the horse failed to recuperate and has died. Last May, during a race in Baltimore, Marlborough shattered his leg at the Preakness. For months, doctors tried to save his life, but Marlborough continued to suffer. The horse underwent extensive surgery this past week after discovering an abscess in his foot. The owners of the colt ultimately made the decision to euthanize him.
Changes are about to come for those famous golden arches. McDonald's is going trans fat free. On Tuesday, the nation's largest restaurant chain announced that they have settled on a new formula for its frying oil for its famous fries, which are supposedly the best in the business. When this new oil will be applied has not been disclosed.
Curt Schilling, after announcing plans of retiring, has now decided that he wants to stay on the baseball field. Schilling put rumors to rest on Monday morning after he exclusively told WEEI, a Boston sports radio station, that he has plans to pitch beyond the 2007 season. Schilling's contract with the Red Sox is up after this season, and he's currently in negotiations to extend his contract.
Although our beloved Patriots are not playing this weekend during the big Super Bowl, I can guarantee most of you out there are still watching the game. According to the Metro West Daily News, jocks can cook, and for the big game this year, you should make your Super Bowl party one to remember. Dishes suggested to whip up are chili garlic shrimp, curly fries, and salsa verde. All of the recipes can be found online from Wednesday's paper. Enjoy the game.
Well, it seems we may never see any real snow this winter, as two more supposed snowstorms passed right over the Bay State this week. Local forecasters promised an average of 1 to 3 inches on Wednesday and Friday mornings, but we only saw, if anything, just a dusting. Although there is no real big snow in the extended forecast, the bitter cold will be sticking around as temperatures are expected to drop next week.
I have to be honest, I want some snow.
I'm ready for it. I've been ready for months.
I know.
Me too.
It's a shame.
I know. Well, coming up on Marlborough this week, we head to Buddy Dog in Sudbury with your Animal of the Week.
And a wheelchair recycler right here in Marlborough is in need of some major donations. We'll tell you what the organization is and how you can help him. Don't move.
Hello, I'm Captain Ron out of the Marlborough Fire Department, reminding you that whenever you change your clocks, change the batteries in your carbon monoxide and smoke detectors. It can save your life.
I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, down.
We introduced to you the story of David Heim last week. Since his story is so touching, we decided to bring you his story once again. Take a look.
Marlborough resident David Heim was unfortunately in an accident 11 years ago, being declared dead at the scene. After being brought to the hospital, his vital signs began to register, and he was eventually released from the hospital. For 6 months, Heim regained most of his strength, but now needs a wheelchair to get around, and has since then made his life's mission to help others with the use of wheelchairs.
Spent 6 months in the hospital, rehab, and then after I got out of there, I went back to work.
The organization was born in 1998, right after Heim picked up a wheelchair from a repair shop for a friend.
The place was supposed to rehab the chair, and it was horrible shape, wires hanging and stuff, so I brought it back to my place, the shop, when it was just a little garage. Fixed it up, tied it up, neatened it up, and then that was it.
From then on, word got out that he knew how to do repairs, and he began to receive some calls.
I was getting requests for just helping on chairs and stuff. And that just snowballed and then turned into a small business and then a big business now.
Wheelchair Recycler Inc. was then started, which is now a nonprofit organization, which Heim gets to refurbish used power wheelchairs for people in need. David even has Christopher Reeve's chair and has been using parts from it ever since to help others gain mobility.
They ended up delivering it in his van. A friend of the family came with his van and it was touching. I put it in the closet for a while. It was tough to look at for, you know. Yeah. But then some other people needed some things. I started taking parts off it from there.
David does all his repair work from his house. His workplace is stacked with parts of wheelchairs just waiting to be used. He said he owes everything to his friend who lives at the Cape.
And he started pushing all his business on the power chairs my way, so I get calls from all over the place now.
David heard from others who were being denied coverage for their wheelchairs or certain repairs and quickly learned that many people cannot afford a wheelchair. He provides services regardless of a person's ability to pay.
And there's so many people without insurance at this point. This stuff is thrown away.
Right.
No, nobody does what I do.
How does David feel about his accomplishments so far?
It makes me feel good.
David admits with more room and a van for transport, the possibilities would be endless.
David's story is truly amazing and he is in need of some help, so for more information, please send an email to wheelchairrecycler@yahoo.com.
The Framingham Public Library founded Literacy Unlimited in 1986. The mission is to provide a solid program to teach adults over the age of 16 basic reading, writing, and computer skills. The tutoring that they offer is free of charge, individualized to each person, and of course, confidential. Now Marlborough's library would like to adopt the program for themselves. We're going to be visiting the program in Framingham next week and we'll bring you full details on what makes them so successful.
Marlborough area newcomers and neighbors is hosting its annual hospitality event. It's taking place on Monday, February 12th at 6 p.m. You are asked to bring your favorite dessert or finger food. Those interested in attending should send an email to RSVP at www.marlborougnewcomers.com by February 5th.
We just want to remind you once again about the American Red Cross Blood Drive that we introduced to you last week. It'll be held on Friday, February 9th at St. Anne's Church on 20 Boston Post Road from 1 to 7 p.m. All donors must be 17 years old or older, in good health, 110 pounds or more, and has not given blood in the last 56 days. All who donate will be entered into a drawing to win free movie tickets.
Another blood drive to tell you about. The Marlborough Community Blood Drives will be held on Wednesdays, February 14th and February 28th at Masonic Hall from 1 to 7 p.m. All donors will be entered into a drawing to win $200 toward their home heating costs. So warm your heart this Valentine's Day by donating blood for a wonderful cause. For more information, please call 1-800-GIVE-LIFE.
Well, when we come back, we're going to head to Buddy Dog in Sudbury, and Gina's going to have our Animal of the Week up for adoption.
Welcome to Corner Office. I'm Mayor Nancy Stevens. With a city this size, the number of employees, the number of residents, something happens every day. I love this job. I absolutely love it.
Hi everyone, this is Emily, and she's up for adoption here at Buddy Dog. She's a little lab mix, originally from Puerto Rico, and she was adopted from another shelter as a puppy. She's now a year old. She's very, very shy, and that's why they brought her to Buddy Dog. They felt she was just too shy for them. She loves other dogs and would probably be best in a home with another dog that she can play with. She's much more comfortable with other dogs. She's all spayed, up to date on all of her shots, and ready to go. So if you're interested in her, you can call us at the shelter. It's 978-443-6990.
Thanks, Gina. Speaking of Buddy Dog, we have a special treat for you this week. We wanted to bring you a successful adoption story from, yes, you guessed it, Buddy Dog. Rob adopted George about 2 years ago, and it has been love ever since. And we were lucky enough to catch up with Rob and George this week. Here's their story. Meet Rob and George. They met about 2 years ago and have been inseparable ever since.
My buddy Doug got a dog, a Sato, not from Buddy Dog, but he told me about Satos and stuff, so I ended up, and Sato's just a rescue dog from Puerto Rico. So I started looking online and found that Buddy Dog has the Satos from Puerto Rico.
Founded in 1961, the goal of the Buddy Dog Humane Society is to find responsible and permanent homes for all the animals in their care.
It's basically first come, first serve. And they take 2 applications for every dog. So I wanted to be the first application for the dog.
Buddy Dog's objective? To give a new lease on life to impounded dogs and cats. To help realize this goal, their adoption counselors work with potential adopters to match them with a friend for life.
The people at Buddy Dog were awesome to deal with, you know, basically walking in, they kind of walk you through the whole thing. They explain what you have to do, you know, basically if you own a house, you know, that's the easiest way to adopt, but if you're renting a house, you have to have permission from the landlord to be able to have a pet. They like to see you have fenced-in yards. It's real straightforward. It's $150 is what I paid, and that's everything. They spade or neuter, whatever they have to do, all the shots, everything that they need. So it's basically, you're making the donation to Buddy Dog.
Thousands of homeless dogs roam the streets of Puerto Rico, where they live under constant threat of sickness, starvation, and exposure.
Because most of them are street dogs. Like when I got him, he was only 14 pounds. He was a rack of bones.
A handful of people in Puerto Rico are giving time, money, and energy to save a Sato, to rescue these dogs and give them a second chance in the United States.
We go out all the time. We hang out and have walks and everything like that, but he's super, super friendly. Actually, it's his best and worst quality, that he's overly friendly.
To date, Buddy Dog has found 750 Satos loving homes.
That's really cool that you're helping out, so Buddy Dog's awesome.
How does Rob feel about recommending Buddy Dog to others?
I would totally recommend Buddy Dog to anybody, especially the Satos, because they're so friendly and appreciative.
For Marlborough This Week, I'm Kristen Doucette. Once again, if anyone is interested in adopting a dog or a cat from Buddy Dog, you can call 978-443-6990, or you can visit their website at www.buddydoghs.com.
Now in health news, if you're feeling a little bit stressed, you're not alone. Whether it's your job or traffic, it seems like everyone is stressed out these days. Stress can cause both short and long-term changes to your body and your mind. It can affect your immune system, so if you're feeling stressed, try some of these activities. You can get more sleep, you can exercise and control your diet, create peaceful times in your day. You can try relaxation methods, don't smoke, and don't drink too much or abuse any other substances. Hopefully you'll be able to use these methods to be on your way to a less stressed, happier you.
A Marlborough couple is raising money for this year's marathon run. On April 16th, Pete and Julie Binkowitz will run the Boston Marathon in hopes of raising $20,000. They are appealing to friends, family, and you in the community for sponsors. To donate to Pete and Julie's efforts, send a check payable to Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to Team Bank, 22 Emmer Road, Marlborough, Mass. 01572.
Well, we hope they have some success with that and wish them the best of luck.
I hope so too. It's now time for sports with Brendan Rosnow. Hey, Brendan.
It took 11 games, but someone finally figured it out. That someone was Quabbin High School, and what they figured out, well, for one night at least, was how to beat the Marlborough Panthers. Quabbin held the Panthers to just 51 points, over 30 points below their season average, to hand the Panthers their first loss of the season, 73-51. Ryan Joyal led the Panthers with 20 points, and Andre Beauchamp had 11, including a pair of threes to open the game, but it was not enough. Quabbin used a matchup zone that frustrated the Panthers and held star George Jordan to a season-low 6 points. Tuesday, the Panthers got back on track, scoring 92 points and a 42-point thrashing of Gardner. Jordan added 15 rebounds and 7 blocks to go along with a game-high 27 points, and Joyal added 11 and 14 in the win. Martine Van Ness recorded a career high with 14 points, and Beauchamp became the 4th Panther to hit double figures in the game with 12 points. The Panthers will play Westboro in a game that will determine the league champion. Tune in next week to get a full report of that game. Timmy Pacific picked up his 2nd shutout of the year as the Panthers blanked Westboro 4-0 last Wednesday. The Rangers were able to generate 31 shots, but Pacific was more than up to the challenge to hand the Rangers only their 3rd loss of the season. Offensively, the Panthers got a pair of goals from John Casey, along with tallies from Sean Breen and Jared Johnson, as the Panthers are now 11-2 and one of hockey's hottest teams. Last Saturday, the Panthers took control of the Roy Conference with a 4-1 win over Leominster. Pacific turned away 18 shots as the line of Jared Johnson, Cody Evangelos, and Patrick Sullivan contributed to 3 first-period goals. Al Butler added a goal and assist to go along with physical blue line play. The winner of the Panthers a spot in the Division III district tournament. That's sports for the week. I'm Brendan Rose now. We'll see you at the game.
That wraps up this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Dan Corcoran.
And I'm Kristen Doucette. Have a great week.
Bye. Coming up on Marlborough This Week, a disturbing incident at Marlborough High School, why one teen was taken away in handcuffs.
Bad drivers, beware. The Traffic Commission has gotten together and will soon be cracking down. We'll tell you what to beware of.
And winter weather tightens its grip on the Metro West, when we'll get some relief from these sub-zero temperatures.
Coming up right here on Marlborough This Week. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette.
And I'm Dan Corcoran. We begin today with disturbing allegations from Marlborough High School. A 15-year-old male student is accused of raping another teenage male student twice on school grounds last fall. Police say the alleged rapes occurred in one of the high school's restrooms. The alleged crimes were reported to police on January 18th. No weapons were involved, but police were told that the victim was forcibly raped. The names of the two boys aren't being disclosed because of their ages. The principal of Marlborough High, Mary Carlson, could not be reached for comment, but school officials are now conducting a review of the school security procedures. The accused teen was arrested this week, and his case is now pending in a juvenile court.
In police news this week, a Marlborough woman was arrested for shoplifting on Sunday. 32-year-old Kenyatta Caraballo of 25 Stephen Street was arrested at 9:36 a.m. at the Price Chopper on East Main Street. Caraballo was charged with 6 counts of shoplifting for alleged thefts at the supermarket, which date back to January 7th.
And it seems like shoplifting was on the to-do list this past weekend, as another woman was arrested for stealing as well. 17-year-old Brittany Flynn of Grafton was charged with shoplifting at the Solomon Pond Mall on Donald Lynch Boulevard around 5:30 p.m. Flynn was charged with shoplifting clothing and jewelry worth more than $250 from a variety of stores.
2 months ago, signs were placed in front of the Immaculate Conception Church on Prospect Street to state that only churchgoers were allowed to park on the east side of Prospect while church was in session. In 2005, the signs were illegally removed and remained that way for several months. To make sure people understand this unwritten rule, the Traffic Commission then voted last year to put them back on, and people seem to be respecting this rule. The same unwritten rule exists for many churches around the city.
Well, the people of Marlborough who struggle with addiction rely strongly on the Addiction Referral Center, and now it may be in danger of closing. The center holds 30 meetings a week where numerous people attend, but due to a lack of support, it may be gone forever. This spring, former Addiction Referral Center board member Kevin Brown is planning on participating in an Ironman competition this spring to raise $10,000 to help save the center. People are going to rely on Brown's efforts and a handful of other fundraisers to keep the center alive. If you'd like to make a donation or for more information on the center, just visit www.journeyforthearc.com.
Thanks to the funds provided by Fairfield Residential, the City of Marlborough is about to undertake a completely new wastewater system. Fairfield Residential is the developer of the huge housing complex on Silverleaf Way. The Maple Street pumping station was in major need of repair, and now it's going to happen. Not only will there be a sewage upgrade, but the money will go towards public safety expenses, additional police officers, and a new fire truck. The sewer project is underway and is expected to be completed by April.
Police in Marlborough are getting a financial boost this week. The department has received 2 large grants in the last month, both of which will continue to help traffic issues throughout the city. In total, the police department has been granted more than $44,000. At a recent traffic commission meeting, speed and parking issues were discussed. Robert Haas, the state secretary of public safety, hopes to see the funds aid in safety belt use, reduced impaired driving, and other poor driving behavior.
At the school committee meeting on January 23rd, new graduation requirements were approved in addition to a new mission statement. An 18-member committee worked endlessly for 1 year to produce a statement which includes 5 points. Excellence, lifelong learning, respect, responsibility, and the belief in comprehensive education are all included. Joseph Delano comments that lifelong learning is what it's all about.
On January 29th, the city's planning board faced the Morrow Farm issue. Morrow Farm, which lands between Boston Post Road and Cook Lane, has been a long-discussed parcel of land. The 15-acre piece of land was rezoned last year, and part of the land was changed from business to residential. At the meeting, discussions on what to do with the rest of the land took place, but the issue has yet to be resolved.
City councilors want to give the old fire station on 91 Main Street a second chance after it failed to attract buyers at an outstanding $1.3 million last August. Mayor Nancy Stevens asked Facilities Director John Galoni to attempt to rent the property, but now a second shot at selling the building will take place. Although no one has bid on the property yet, several businesses seem to be interested. If they cannot sell the property, they will have to resort to renting.
After an inch of snow coated the roads here in Marlborough this past weekend, one person had to be taken to the hospital with serious injuries. 54-year-old Deborah Montgomery was driving on South Street on Friday night when she skidded into a light pole. She was immediately brought to UMass Memorial Hospital in Worcester. At least 4 more car accidents occurred this past weekend, including a side impact accident and a 2-vehicle collision in which the snow is also blamed.
Now, since we haven't had a lot of snow, you need to make sure that you remember those driving techniques in the snow, just to refresh yourself.
Definitely stuck out there.
Yep.
Well, coming up on Marlborough this week, Turner Broadcasting makes a settlement concerning the marketing stunt that occurred last week. We'll tell you just how big that settlement is.
And cold, wintry weather continues to hit the Bay State. We have your weather details coming up. President Bush is working to increase funding for national state parks by $258 million by next year. Critics are stunned regarding the president's decision since previous budgets did not include maintenance of parks around the country. The plan would put $1 billion into the nation's 390 national parks by the year 2016. Bush revealed the proposal earlier this week, and park advocates are pleased, saying it's much needed to maintain parks, who serve 270 million visitors each year.
On Tuesday, Governor Deval Patrick filed a $19 million spending plan. This mini budget is just a small fraction of the $26 billion state budget. Money will be used for intervention services for children, shelter beds for the homeless, and emergency assistance for the elderly and disabled. Patrick is currently working on his version of the state budget as well.
A marketing stunt that turned into a bomb threat will cost Turner Broadcasting $2 million. Lighted devices were placed around Boston last Wednesday, which sent Boston into emergency mode. The settlement was announced on Monday. Turner Broadcasting agreed to pay the $2 million, with $1 million going to reimburse the agencies and the other to fund Homeland Security. Boston Mayor Tom Menino said that he was pleased with the settlement.
Now an update on the stabbing at Lincoln Sudbury High School. John Odgren is accused of stabbing a fellow student to death. On Friday, Odgren's lawyer argued against allowing the public to preview search warrants in the case. He stated that it would negatively impact his client's right to a fair trial. The judge's decision will be announced on Monday. Odgren is due back in court on March 5th.
Former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney plans to officially announce next week that he is running for the Republican presidential nomination. Romney will be the first of 3 Republicans to declare his run for presidency. He will make the announcement on February 13th in Michigan, where he was born. Romney has already begun raising money, hiring staff, and building an organization campaign.
The state proposal to rid toll booths on the western section of the Massachusetts Turnpike has officially been squashed. After months of discussion, the state's new Secretary of Transportation revealed the decision at a meeting on Tuesday. It was former Governor Mitt Romney's idea to eliminate the tolls on the pike west of Route 128, but Governor Deval Patrick dumped the idea. The money collected from the western tolls equals an outstanding $114 million each year.
The E. coli scare is long gone, but spinach sales are still dwindling as customers continue to feel uncertain. According to the Perishables Group, spinach sales have dropped 14% since last year, and bulk spinach has dropped by nearly half. In addition, bulk and bag salad has also dropped nearly 17% compared to last year's sales. Plummeting sales have caused the produce industry to seek new guidelines to assure that spinach and bag salad is truly safe to buy.
Well, gas prices may be down for now, but don't get too excited since experts say prices may rise once again soon. Since the beginning of the year, gas prices have dropped an average of 19 cents per gallon. Now, representatives from Oil Price Information Services state that prices should stay steady until March. But once oil companies switch fuel types for the summer, prices could again skyrocket.
Well, it seems like love equals big bucks these days, and guess what? Valentine's Day is just around the corner. Last month, Discover Card conducted a survey via telephone, and a little over 1,000 Americans responded. According to the survey, men dish out an average of $117 on Valentine's Day, while women only dish about half. Sales are set to slip, though, in 2007, which was revealed in the survey, as both men and women plan to spend less this year.
Well, the bitter cold winds and low temperatures this week have been causing multiple problems for drivers. Beware of falling icicles in the Big Dig tunnels as they are affecting the Callahan, Sumner, and the new I-90 Seaport Connector Tunnel. Icicles have been forming overhead, with some of them reaching up to 2 feet long. Now state crews are working to knock them down.
Well, you know what I heard? They are working to knock them down, but they immediately just grow right back, so still stay beware of them falling on your car when you're driving.
Very important news there. Be careful with that. Well, coming up next on Marlborough This Week, we'll take a look at your animal of the week up for adoption.
And Framingham started a program about 20 years ago, and Marlborough is now about to adopt that same program here. Stay tuned. We have the answer when we return.
Welcome to Corner Office. I'm Mayor Nancy Stevens. With a city this size, the number of employees, the number of residents, something happens every day. I love this job. I absolutely love it.
Framingham Public Library founded Literacy Unlimited in 1986. The mission is to provide a solid program to teach adults over the age of 16 basic reading, writing, and computer skills. Now, Marlborough's library would like to adopt the program here. We caught up with Framingham Library's Julie Hagney to learn more about this amazing program. Take a look.
Literacy Unlimited is a nonprofit organization founded to combat the problems of adult illiteracy in the Metro West area.
We're based in Framingham, but we serve people throughout the Metro West. We have about 300 tutors and about 350 students.
Established in 1986 through a grant from the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners, the organization is housed and sponsored by the Framingham Public Library.
We have some students now from Marlborough and some tutors from Marlborough. And recently we began a collaboration with the Marlborough Public Library.
We think it's important to offer right in our own area. When we found out from Framingham how many residents from Marlborough travel over to Framingham to receive that service, we thought it would just be a natural outreach for us to offer it from the library.
Tutor training sessions are available, which equal to a total of 18 hours.
The Marlborough training will begin February 26th, and it will be from 5 to 8 at the Marlborough Public Library.
For more information and to register, contact the Literacy Unlimited office by phone or by visiting the office in the main library during the Literacy Unlimited program office hours.
As Julie stated, tutoring classes will begin to take place on February 26th, so if you are interested, make sure you stop by the Marlborough Library for more information.
Hudson resident Jane Parker has been a helping hand with an adoption support group for families right here in Marlborough. The Adoptive Family Support Group is a supportive network for adoptive parents. About 3 years ago, its facilitators were moving away, and the group was in danger of breaking up. Parker moved in and helped save the group. The group meets every second Tuesday of each month, being held from 10:30 to noon at the Assabet Valley Area Family Network. For more information about this group, you can call 617-587-1563.
Attention all graduating seniors. The Marlborough Historical Society is seeking applications for a $500 scholarship. All applicants must submit a research paper of 750 to 1,000 words on any aspect of Marlborough history. Send your applications to the Marlborough Historical Society by April 1st, and the presentation of the award will be made on April 24th at the Historical Society's annual meeting. For more information, please call 508-485-4763.
The Marlborough Community Blood Drives will be held Wednesdays, February 14th and 28th at Masonic Hall from 1 to 7 p.m. All donors will be entered to win a drawing to win $200 towards your home heating costs. So warm your heart this Valentine's Day by donating blood for a wonderful cause. For more information, you can call 1-800-GIVE-LIFE.
Well, that is certainly a great cause.
That's right. Well, right now we're going to head to Sudbury with Gina, and she's got this week's Animal of the Week up for adoption.
So Gina, who do we have this week?
Well, today we have Danny, and he's a Jack Russell Terrier, and they're very active dogs, as you can see. And he's a great little pet for an active family with maybe older children, teens and up, I would say. He's a stray who came up from North Carolina. We do see a lot of Jack Russells here at the shelter because of their energy levels. So you have to be really sure you're looking for an active dog if you're interested in Danny.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of Jack Russells that come through here and get adopted, or?
We do have a lot of Jack Russells. It's actually one of the most popular purebreds that we see here. He's our third in probably about a month.
Oh, good. So if somebody wants to adopt this lovely Jack Russell, what do they have to do?
If you like Danny and you want to know more about him, you can call us at the shelter and check on his availability. The number is 978-443-6990.
Thanks, Gina. Now in health news, child weight loss surgery is becoming more common due to the rising increase of obese children. A group of hospitals are kicking off a study to see how children react to weight loss surgery such as gastric bypass. In addition, a campaign was kicked off to make sure that parents and kids understand the risks of childhood obesity. The $250,000 campaign was founded by the Metro West Community Healthcare Foundation and includes several Massachusetts towns. To promote the campaign, billboards will be placed around the area, and there's actually one right here in Marlborough on Boston Post Road. A new website is also available for parents and kids where you can ask a nutritionist any question you would like. Just visit www.metroskids.org. It's now time to go to Brendan Rose now for a look at sports. Hey, Brendan.
When the Marlborough Panthers arrived at Westboro High School, all they had to do was win one game and they would be the Milwaukee champions. Sounds pretty easy until you look at their opponent. The Westboro Rangers had won the last 3 league titles and were determined to make it a 4th. George Jordan would lead the Panthers with 20 points, 2 of which came on this sweet 17-foot jumper. Ryan Joyle helped his teammate on this putback, a sign of things to come, to help the Panthers get out to a first-half lead. Late in the first half, point guard Connor Flynn took an outlet pass from Andre Beauchamp, and with a little showtime, got the hoop in the arm to put the Panthers up by 5. In the second half, the Rangers stormed back to take the lead from the Panthers. Martin Van Ness would tie the game for Marlborough on this layup, and the two teams would go back and forth until the final minute of play. With just over a minute left, the Panthers found themselves down 3 and looked to the sophomore Beauchamp for a basket. He answered from the corner, and then 5 seconds later, Flynn gave the Panthers the lead, turning a Ranger turnover into 2 points. The Rangers would not lie down, and with 14 seconds remaining, Ben Araya, after Jordan blocked an initial shot, beat the shot clock, and for the moment the Panthers, with a 3 from the top of the key, to give the hosts a 1-point lead. The Panthers would call a timeout and draw up one final play for Jordan. Jordan would miss his initial shot, but look who it is, Ryan Joyle with the putback, just as the horn sounds, stunning the crowd and the Rangers.
The basket counts. Marlborough wins the game on a follow from...
One referee called the basket good, and the other one called it now.
The Panthers may have been emotionally drained from that classic encounter when they took on Doherty and Worcester Tuesday night. The Highlanders avenged an earlier season loss to the Panthers, handing the hometown crew their second loss of the season, 56-53. Jordan again led the Panthers with 16 points, while Joyle banged in 12. The Panthers will play their final home game of the season Tuesday night when they welcome the Hudson Hawks to the Fieldhouse. Let's just say that the words 26-0 might be heard once or twice. If the hockey team was any hotter, they might find themselves playing in water instead of on ice. The Panthers won their 9th straight game with a 7-2 win over North Middlesex. R.J. Burns scored twice, and Kyle Lynn handed out 3 assists in the game. 5 different Panthers also scored in the contest. Last weekend, Tim Pacific got his 3rd shutout of the year in a 3-0 win over Groton Dunstable. John Casey notched a pair of goals, while Al Butler recorded a goal and an assist for the Panthers' 12th win of the year. That's sports for the week. I'm Brendan Rose now. We'll see you at the game.
Thanks, Brendan. Before we go, we're going to take a look at what's happening around town. Here's a look at your community calendar. That wraps up this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Dan Corcoran.
And I'm Kristen Doucette. Have a great week.
Bye. Coming up on Marlborough This Week, in the wake of a Marlborough High School's alleged rape arrest, are security cameras in school enough? We'll tell you what's being done to prevent these violent crimes.
An ice-cold but snowless winter came to a halt this Valentine's Day as a nor'easter hit the Bay State. Coming up right here on Marlborough This Week. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette.
And I'm Dan Corcoran. We begin now with an update on Marlborough High School's alleged arrest. Despite anxiety that was stirred up with last week's arrest, parents are now being assured that Marlborough High School is, in fact, a safe place. This comes from a letter that was sent home from School Superintendent Barbara McCann and Principal Mary Carlson of Marlborough High School. School officials are also claiming the arrest came about too quickly for parents to be properly notified any earlier than they were. Administrators are revising safety procedures and are encouraging close teacher-student relationships. Both rape attacks were committed by a 15-year-old boy with whom charges have now been brought.
To some, this year's Valentine's Day gift was the first significant amount of snow we have seen this season. But for others, it resulted in mayhem on the roads. The nor'easter that hit us on Wednesday left below zero temperatures, causing roads to freeze. Icy conditions caused drivers to slam into curbs as well as each other. According to the police, a vehicle on the I-290 connector crossed over the center line, which led the car to strike oncoming traffic. The accident sent one to the hospital.
Well, the recent snow system sparked the Department of Public Works to remind residents that cooperation is needed during snow season. The department asked residents to familiarize themselves with the overnight parking bans in the city. There should be no on-street parking from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. In addition, be familiar with sanding and salting operations, plowing, and with clearing your driveway and car. Finally, the city is not held responsible for damages to properties in the result of normal snowfall and snow removal.
On a lighter note, the biggest storm of the season will have some laughing, all the way to the bank, that is. Mother Nature hasn't been kind to ski country, and now most hope this dose of fresh powder will boost sales. It comes right in time for the 3-day weekend that will kick off vacation week. If you and your family are looking to ski this week, there are a couple of resorts right around the Marlborough area. 2 places you can hop over to are Skiward Hill in Shrewsbury and the Neshoba Valley in Westford.
Now in police news, police arrested a Marlborough man this past Tuesday. William David Corriveau was arrested at 11:39 p.m. following a report of domestic abuse on Maple Street. He was charged with assault and battery, assault with a dangerous weapon and a knife, assault with a dangerous weapon, which was a knife, and possession of a Class E substance, the prescription drug Xanax.
Controversy was sparked this week over a set of documents. City Solicitor Donald Ryder Jr. failed to portray how much the city has spent on legal representation during 3-year negotiations with employee unions. On Wednesday, Mayor Nancy Stevens backed Ryder and denied the fact that the city is trying to hide those public documents. Attorney-client private information would be violated if the information were made public. For now, there isn't a way to reveal the information without showing private parts of the bill.
Marlborough's new wireless network is being put on hold as the removal of trees is causing a major dilemma. City government computers are planned to be put into a powerful wireless network, which will allow public officials to share information faster. But now the removal of unapproved trees is leading the city council on an investigation of the plan. Robert Katz comments, before anything else, they are waiting to see how the city's tree warden proposes to replace the trees.
On Monday night at the City Council meeting, land was turned down near a tree farm. The City Council is passing and buying a 12-acre property next to Hood Tree Farm, even though it is listed on the Open Space Preservation Plan. The Council comments that the land is not useful due to the hilly terrain. The tree farm itself is what is actually in interest. The 12 acres will be sold for $800,000, where 5 houses will be built.
Well, a Marlborough-based company is offering just over $450 million for a California-based firm. Adiza Biomedical is a maker of women's health products. Scitec wants to buy the corporation in hopes of boosting its medical diagnostics portfolio. The deal is set to add 5 cents per share in 2008. Scitec's offer has been approved and should be final in March.
The high-tech programs that are offered at Assabet High School are having some astonishing results with its students. Later this month, a student-made robot will grace the halls of the high school, fully equipped with a camera and a memory chip. The robot may be used in national competition. Assabet's Superintendent Eugene Carlo states that the school provides numerous hands-on and beneficial programs to its students. The programs offered are geared toward aiding kids in their love for math and science while making it fun.
This will be the 4th winter that the Business Professionals of America Club, hosted by Marlborough High School, has offered computer training classes. Anyone who is in need of sprucing up their computer skills or wishes to learn new programs were encouraged to come to the free classes. The club originated with the idea to use students' talents to connect with their surrounding community. Computer training is over for this year, but we're certain that there will be a 5th year of the program to come.
Although years away, Marlborough High School has already started preparing for a review. A mission statement was written and has since been accepted, which will act as a guideline. Points of the mission statement are supporting a respectful community, valuing lifelong learning, and encouraging academic, social, and personal excellence through a comprehensive education. The evaluation is set to begin in 2009.
Students at the Immaculate Conception Schools celebrated on January 29th as they received several grants. Several students in grades 6, 7, and 8 received $1,000 scholarships from Raytheon. Raytheon Company's program, Math Moves You, is a $2 million national program designed to engage middle school students in the subject of math. The Immaculate Conception School is unique due to its receiving the most scholarships across the state of Massachusetts.
Marlborough's food pantry supplies are running low once again, and it's not the first time. Last year, Marlborough Community Services almost closed the pantry due to a rental rate spike in the Walker building. Despite the hike, councilors decided to squash the rent due for the nonprofit organization. The pantry continues to donate food such as canned fruits and veggies, tuna, jelly, pasta, soups, and sauces. Also accepted are baby needs, soap, shampoo, and laundry detergent. Donations will be accepted at the food pantry's Walker Building offices on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 9 to 1 p.m. We have to donate to keep this pantry alive.
That's right. If you got time, get out there and do that. Well, coming up on Marlborough this week, a possible salmonella outbreak in peanut butter. What brands the FDA says you should throw away.
And snow came down hard this Valentine's Day, but how does next week look? We have your weather coming up. In national news this week, peanut butter may be to blame as 300 people have become sick, 5 of them residing right here in Massachusetts. The makers of Peter Pan and Great Value brands of peanut butter are announcing a nationwide recall, which applies to jars with the item code 2111. The number can be found on the lid. About 20% of the infected cases have been hospitalized, but none have died. Officials comment that this would be the first time in U.S. history that salmonella could be connected to peanut butter.
Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick is angry this week as he aims to defend himself. The issue? A state police helicopter. Patrick sees no problem in using the helicopter to, quote, beat the traffic at certain times of the day. He also states that he will continue to use the taxpayer-funded ride as he sees fit. In the past month, Patrick has used the helicopter quite a few times. Whether or not Patrick uses this mode of transportation will be on a case-to-case basis in the future.
In campaign news, Senator Barack Obama officially announced his bid for presidency on Monday. Obama urged an end to the war and portrayed himself as a fresh face capable of leading a new generation. And then following, former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney announced his run in the 2008 election on Tuesday. He made the announcement from the Henry Ford Museum. Romney headed back to Boston for a major fundraiser on Friday.
U.S. Senator Edward Kennedy wants you to have paid sick leave. Kennedy believes that workers who feel under the weather should have the right to rest. The plan is aimed at reducing medical costs and preventing illness from spreading around the workplace. Kennedy will push for 7 paid sick days for specific businesses. This Healthy Families Act will be reintroduced to Congress soon.
Harvard, the United States' oldest university, is set to make history. The university plans on naming Drew Gilpin Faust, a historian of the Civil War, the first female president in its 371-year history. 59-year-old Faust is currently the dean of Radcliffe Institute of Advanced Study, the smallest of 12 Harvard schools. This decision will make Harvard the fourth Ivy League school to make a woman a president. Harvard's Board of Overseers will make the final decision.
Well, how about a candy company that's not going to target children? Well, you heard it right. The sugar giant Master Foods, which produces our beloved M&Ms, plans on making some changes by the end of next year. An inquiry was sent recently from DG Sanco, much like the US FDA, to the candy company questioning its young audience. Now marketing for the company's campaigns will be changed. The new policy will direct all advertising, including online and new media, to a slightly older audience.
Looks like there will be blue skies over Nantucket this summer as JetBlue announces a new service from New York. You can now skip the ferry as daily nonstop flights starting at $49 will now be offered from New York's JFK Airport. Their service will begin on May 24th and will continue throughout the summer. In addition, JetBlue and Cape Air are joining forces, allowing customers to gain access to not only Nantucket, but also other Cape and Island destinations.
Well, listen up, ladies. A footwear breakthrough is about to come your way. It took a trained rocket scientist to figure it out, and it could make dreadful high heels a dream to walk in. A Salem, New Hampshire-based firm is now selling a weight-shifting insert in CVS stores. The insert apparently shifts the body's weight off the ball of the foot. The company claims the Insolia technology can reduce forefoot pressure in addition to improving ankle stability. Do you have one of those in your
No,
shoes
and
right
I'm
now?
running to get one. My high heels kill my feet.
Well, good luck with that. You'll have to report back on this. And
I
see
will.
how
I'm
that
going to
feels.
buy them and I'll report back.
Excellent. Well, coming up on Marlborough this week, we'll head to Buddy Dog in Sudbury for your Animal of the Week.
And when we return, Marlborough's library is kicking off an amazing program this month. We'll let you know how you can get involved.
Welcome to Corner Office. I'm Mayor Nancy Stevens. With a city this size, the number of employees, the number of residents, something happens every day. I love this job. I absolutely love it.
The Marlborough Library and the Framingham Library are joining forces this February. Literacy Unlimited, which was founded by the Framingham Library in 1986, is what's joining them together. Marlborough caught wind of the program and heard how many of its residents were actually going over to Framingham to receive the services. Since then, Marlborough's library decided to adopt the program here for themselves. We caught up with Framingham Library's Julie Hagney to give you a closer look at this amazing program.
Literacy Unlimited is a nonprofit organization founded to combat the problems of adult illiteracy in the Metro West area.
We're based in Framingham, but we serve people throughout the Metro West. We have about 300 tutors and about 350 students.
Established in 1986 through a grant from the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners, the organization is housed and sponsored by the Framingham Public Library.
We have some students now from Marlborough and some tutors from Marlborough. And recently we began a collaboration with the Marlborough Public Library.
We think it's important to offer right in our own area. When we found out from Framingham how many residents from Marlborough travel over to Framingham to receive that service, we thought it would just be a natural outreach for us to offer it from the library.
Tutor training sessions are available, which equal to a total of 18 hours.
The Marlborough training will begin February 26th, and it will be from 5 to 8 at the Marlborough Public Library.
For more information and to register, contact the Literacy Unlimited office by phone or by visiting the office in the main library during the Literacy Unlimited program office hours.
Classes will meet in the auditorium of the Marlborough Public Library, and remember, teaching experience is not required. For more information, please call 508-879-3570.
Are you aware that there's a newly opened fitness center right here in Marlborough? Well, if you aren't, it's the Teamworks Fitness Center located in the Courtyard Marriott. The facility is now offering unique programs for you and your family. The center understands your busy, demanding schedules and has created special half-hour express workouts for you. For a class schedule or for more information, you can visit teamworkfitness.com.
If you're thinking about taking a trip to Canada in the near future, you're in luck. The Marlborough Recreation Department is announcing a long weekend trip to Montreal. A coach bus is planned to leave the Rec Department at 6:30 a.m. on Saturday, May 26th, and will return on Monday, May 28th. The cost of the trip is $89. Hotel and meals are not included. To register, call 508-624-6925.
The Marlborough Junior Women's Club will be holding its second annual Trivia Night fundraiser soon. The event will be held at the Riverview Hudson Portuguese Club on March 2nd. Doors will open at 7:30 and trivia will begin at 8 p.m. Tickets are $20 in advance or $25 at the door. For more information about the Junior Women's Club, visit marlboroughjuniors.org.
The First United Methodist Church of Marlborough is holding an all-you-can-eat family pancake supper. It will take place on Tuesday, February 20th from 6 to 8 p.m. on 52 Church Street. It's $5 for adults and $3 for children and seniors. All the proceeds will aid Women Helping Others and missions to the homeless and others in the community. For more information, please contact Pastor Linda Stetter.
Boxer Buddies, which is a non-profit organization, is on a unique mission to save boxers. What makes Boxer Buddies so unique is that there is no physical shelter for the dogs. The organization actually places these dogs in loving homes. In the past year alone, 100 dogs have been rescued. People wishing to adopt just pay a $300 fee, have to agree to a home visit, and have to provide personal references. To join as a volunteer or to adopt a boxer for yourself, please visit boxerbuddies.org. Now, my sister actually did a program like this, and she said it worked out great.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, speaking of dogs, let's head over to Buddy Dog to get our Animal of the Week. Hey, Gina.
So who do we have this week, Gina?
This is Spanky, and he's a 7-month-old neutered male. He came here with his brother Tiger, and we gave him all of his vaccinations, and we tested him for feline leukemia and FIV, so he's healthy and ready to be adopted. Aren't you, Spanky?
So where did he come from?
I believe he was found as a stray, and someone dropped the 2 of them off here.
So if someone wants to adopt Spanky, what do they have to do?
Well, they'd want to call us here at the shelter and check on his availability, and then they can stop on by and meet him.
Thanks, Gina. If you missed your chance to donate blood this past Valentine's Day at Masonic Hall, there's another chance right around the corner. The next blood drive is on Wednesday, February 28th, which will be held from 1 to 7 p.m. All donors will be registered to win $200 toward their home heating costs. Walk-in donors are always welcome. For more information, please call 1-800-GIVE-LIFE. Well, that's a great cause to donate to.
Definitely. Well, coming up right now, we have Brendan Rose now with a look at sports around town.
When the Panthers and Hawks get together, there is no need for added hype. Hudson entered the field house last week, hoping to avenge a 26-0 loss on the football field. The Panthers, much like they had on that Thursday, would not let the Hawks get close. To a packed field house where the Panthers set the tone early on both the defensive and the offensive end. George Jordan would be heard early and often, varying this 18-foot jumper. The junior's range has increased all season long, and then following up a miss. Connor Flynn would help the Panthers pull away with 5 straight points towards the end of the half to put the home team up 30-21. After Ryan Doyle finished this nice piece of ball movement, Chris Pinsino just flat out takes the ball away and lays it in to give the Panthers a double-digit lead. The senior drained 3 threes on the night to go with his 16 points. In the second half, it was all Panthers, with Flynn and Pinsino hitting back-to-back buckets to put the Panthers up by 17. Jordan would finish with 30 points on the night, and Coach Nicholas was able to pull his 3 seniors, Flynn, Pinsino, and Ryan Fahey, to the sound of a standing ovation from the crowd.
Pinsino checks out of the game.
The win was the team's 15th of the season, matching their total from last year. Pinsino scored 24 points in his return to action, to help the Panthers to an 84-81 win over Algonquin earlier in the week. Jordan, Andre Beauchamp, and Martin Van Ness each got into double figures in the win. The Panthers built a 20-point lead at the half, which was just enough to withstand a late T-Hawk comeback. Marlborough will finish the season with games at Wachusett, Leominster, and Milford before starting the playoffs. The Panthers girls team notched their second win in 4 games with a 53-24 pasting of Worcester South. Freshman Emily Riley scored 11 points and pulled down 4 rebounds in the win. Kelly Sullivan and Holly Ray combined for 18 points to lead the Panthers to their 4th win of the season. With a 54-44 win, the Assabet Aztecs put themselves in a winner-take-all game for the Colonial Athletic League title. Caitlin Hutchinson led the Aztecs with 18 points to become the team's leading scorer. Hutchinson and Samantha Ware both average over 14 points per game, with Hutchinson leading the total points battle by just 4 points. The Aztecs squared off against Monty Tech Friday night, with both teams entering the season's final game with 1 loss each. Tune in next week for a report of that game and a look ahead at the Aztecs' playoff situation. On the Frozen Pond, the Panthers played only 1 game last week, but they made it count with a 3-1 win over North Middlesex. R.J. Byrne, Ryan Stokes, and Wes Russell lit the lamp for the Panthers' 13th win of the year. That's sports for the week. I'm Brendan Rose now. We'll see you at the game.
Thanks, Brendan. Well, here's a look at what's happening around town. Here's your community calendar. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Dan Corcoran.
And I'm Kristen Doucette. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.